Okay, we are going to start another project, and what are we going to do? Let me show you. I got 2 chickens. These are the ones that we slaughtered from this last summer. And I've got Lady's Friend and Mean New Roo. Yeah, I label them. We name them as we're slaughtering them. We're gonna leave these out to defrost, and when they start defrosting, we are going to cut them up. We're going to put them in a pot. We're gonna make chicken broth, and then we're gonna can them up with something. So let's do it together. They're gonna hang out there until I'm ready to take care of them. They are defrosted, and now it's time to put them in a big pot. Let's do Mean Roo first. Take his claws out and wash them and stick them in the pot. Just like that. And then wash and cut up the rest. You know. My hands are going to be all goopy with juices, so you'll have to see it at the end. Okay, it's time to work on Lady's Friend. Honestly, the only reason I am cutting up the chicken is because I'm putting 2 in the pot, and I wanted to make sure that they all fit, because if you only put 1 in the pot, it doesn't fit. So, but I thought you might want to see what I'm doing. I am not a professional, I am a pre-fessional. So what I have done is I cut the wings off, and I cut the thigh and the drumstick off. And then I'm just layering them inside the pot. And then I take all of this and throw it in. So it looks like that. Then we're gonna fill it with water. This is where you kind of do what you want. I have a little bit of ACV that I'm adding. I'm gonna add a couple bay leaves, and then maybe onions or veggies if you have them. It's not, you can just do chicken and water. Don't be all, like, don't overthink it. I still have some of the free onions I got from the person that needed to get rid of a whole bunch of produce, so I'm just gonna cut them up roughly and throw them in. Stick it on the burner and bring it up to a rolling boil. It has been boiling for a day and a half. I turned it off overnight and I turned it back on for half a day. Now I've just turned it off about an hour ago so that it can cool down. I'm going to strain it out, and then we are going to make chicken pot pie filling. Doesn't that sound intriguing? I've made it before. My husband loved it. We're gonna make it again. Okay, so what I am doing right now is I am taking the meat and the bones out so that I can strain the broth. I'm going to set the broth aside, and I'm going to wait for this to cool down so that I can handle it, and I'm going to separate the bones from the meat and save the meat. Everybody has their own way of doing it, but half a gallon jar, my little funnel, and a mesh strainer. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to scoop it in here and let it fill up, and we're just going to keep doing it. That's how I strain my chicken broth. It's messy. Okay, I've got everything prepped. This is the book I am working out of. It is her chicken pot pie filling. It is absolutely amazing. So follow along as I assemble it. And if you want, this book is in my Zon store. Highly, highly recommend all of the Canning Divas books. So let's get going. Now it wants me to use butter, but instead of using butter, I'm going to use the schmaltz I got off of which is the fat from the chicken. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to saute my celery and my onions. My jars are in the oven warming up, and I'm going to get the canner ready. Saute the onions and celery. This is where we start adding all of the other stuff. The chicken just goes in. The corn, the garlic, the carrots, the peas, just add it in. And the seasoning. And 8 cups of that chicken broth. Then stir it all together. Now all we're waiting is for it to boil. This is where I measure my clear gel because I'm going to add it in once it starts to boil, and then we're going to boil it for 5 to 7 minutes. So here we go. This is where you stir. Look at how beautiful it is. Once you get to the time, take it off and jar it up. This is literally where we are just going to jar it up. Leave the recommended headspace that it calls for and process it in a pressure canner. Oh, how would I use this? It's chicken pot pie filling. You literally make a crust and plop it in a pan and put the crust on top, and you've got chicken pot pie on a cold, rainy day. It's that simple. Okay, I'm gonna get to work, you guys. Be right back. Now the headspace on this is literally a generous 1 inch. And because there's clear gel, when she says a generous, she means a generous. So make sure you have a really good 1 inch or slightly more. This is usually when I say 1 1/4 inches. So I got 6 quarts. I'm gonna clean up my tops, stick the rings on them, and then we're going to put them in the pressure canner, and we will talk when they come out. Okay, these came out, and I'm gonna be honest with you, they came out last week, but I waited to talk to you about all of this. We're going to decap them, uncap them. Now the problem for me waiting is if any of them did not seal, I can't eat it at all. It's going to have to just go to waste. I don't even know if I would feed it to the chicken. So let's start testing. That's good. Woohoo! That's good. I'll be right back. Now, all of these sealed, so that's 6 chicken pot pie meals that I made in under 2.5 hours. And I'm gonna wash those up, label them, and put them on the shelf. And then I had leftover chicken broth, and I put those in the pressure canner, the electric pressure canner, and we're going to see if those seal. Notice I use the metal lids for this, and I use the Tattler lids for this. Yes, 100%, yes. Okay, let's get the water going. Heat your water up and get your rag nice and soapy. It's a towel, it's not a rag. Those of you that worked at McDonald's know exactly what I just said. Now this is what we have. We have 6 quarts. How do you use this now that you have it? What you do is you take it, you put it in your pie plate with your pie crust on the bottom, and then you put your pie crust on top of it, you put some slits in it, put it in the oven for 350 degrees, and for about 30 minutes. And then you just walk away. Like literally, you are assembling your pie crust, dumping this in, however many you want for however big your pie crust is, and then walking away after you stick it in the oven. And then you have dinner on the table. So, but what I do is I take a container, a little Pyrex dish, I put the half of this in each Pyrex dish, and then I top that half with a pre-made pie crust. And we'll do that sometime, that I've made myself. And then I just stick it in the freezer. So everything is literally less than 5 minutes of prep time, and I have dinner on the table. I can just walk away, go out and weed some things, and dinner's on the table. How much did this all cost me? It's 92 cents for this entire container. 92 cents, which means it's 46 cents a serving. If this is all we're eating, right? It's delicious, absolutely delicious. Now, why am I washing the jars? Why are you washing the jars? Just put them on the shelf. Well, sometimes you have a little siphoning that's inside. Sometimes when you have put your filling in, you've gotten a drip down the side of the jar, you go ahead and put it in the pot. Well, that little drip distributes to all of your jars. Now you have a little bit of residue that would attract bugs. So I wash all of my jars, and I'm not gentle with it either. I like literally scrub the ring, wash it back and forth, and then when I'm putting them on the shelf, after I've labeled them, I know that they're clean on the outside. So there's no bugs or anything that are gonna want to be attracted to them. There you go. Now you know what I know. I got a lot of stuff here to do. And the chicken broth is totally free. Don't forget that, the chicken broth. All I'm washing them with is soap, but this stuff right here, if you have chickens or you ever eat chickens with bones, you better be putting your bones in a pot and boiling them down, because this should always be free and in your pantry. Talk to you guys later. Have a great day out there. Now you know what I know.